Yeah? This is Naam. The one in the cage, the green color, this is Azolla. This is the fern. Yeah? So they breed this Azolla in the cage called Naam. So the fish will slowly eat this Azolla and reduce the cost in the ecosystem. And this is actually chicken tractor where it is mobile. They can move the chicken with those chicken tractor. Yeah? Okay, so now you understand a little bit on the industrial ecology, symbiosis, and ecosystem in organic farm? Yes? Okay, at least you learn a little bit on how they utilize the inputs from the waste in the farm. Yeah? Even for fertilizers, they will use mulching technique. Yeah? They will use mulching technique. Okay, so EDU tourism concept, while they grow this organic farming, they also welcoming people to learn about industrial ecology and ecotourism. So, that's Tourism Malaysia came to this farm. There's also officers, or there's also tourists come to this farm and learn about ecology and ecosystem. So when I conducted my field research in this area, I met some of foreigners. They are researchers from other universities in Europe. They want to learn how to do industrial ecology. So, they provided place to stay and food. But they learned something, new knowledge on industrial ecology. They won't receive any farm laborers or pay. Yeah? But they just want to learn and some place to stay. So this is a trend right now. Industrial ecology, we have inbound mobility from overseas, from international schools. Yeah? They learn the concept and they try to apply when they go back to their home country. So this is where you can see it's open space learning on industrial ecology at Fitra Farm. Yeah? We need to book. Let's say some of teachers plan to bring students to visit and learn about industrial ecology as well as how to do organic farming. Yeah? We need to book the slots because usually it's full. Yeah? Okay, next. And whatever they do is actually validated by the scientists all around the world. The importance of industrial ecology and organic farming to take care of sustainability of the system and the area. Yeah? Okay, next. The next case study is at Sri Lovely in Sikh Kedah. Yeah? So this area is around 9.64 hectares organic paddy farm. So they use EDU tourism and ecotourism concept. Yeah? So you can see that it's really beautiful area. I know most of people love to go for healing. How many of you love to go for healing? Majority. Yeah? When you go for outing, oh, I need to go for healing. I need to see some nature and so on. Yeah? So this is also the current trend on social media. Hashtag healing. Hashtag connect with nature. Right? So this is another trend right now on ecotourism and edutourism. Okay? Okay, next. Okay, this is a little bit short video on Sri Lovely, and you can see how they even go for international food festival. Yeah.
Rendah gula selain tinggi kandungan fiber. Di Malaysia, Sik Kedah satu-satunya lokasi tanaman padi organik yang mendapat perhatian masyarakat luar negara, terutama pengkaji pertanian Itali, Amerika Syarikat, Switzerland dan Korea Selatan. Rusiah Abdul Hamid meninjau projek tersebut di kampung Lintang, Sik.
100% organik, 100% bebas bahan kimia dan 100% menggunakan kaedah lestari dan mesra alam sekitar. Ia merupakan antara padi yang berkualiti dan terbaik di negara ini. Kaedah tanaman padi organik atau sistem intensifikasi padi SRI turut diamalkan di Indonesia, Brazil, Filipina, China dan India. Kapten Bersara Zakaria Kamantasha mengusahakannya sejak 2010 dengan nama SRI Lovely atas tanah seluas hampir 10 hektar. Selain hasilnya berkualiti tinggi, ia turut menjimatkan kos dan menjaga alam sekitar. Fellow Institut Pengurusan Bencana UUM itu berazam menjadikan Sri Lovely sebagai pusat rujukan padi organik negara dan dunia. Selain penyelidik pertanian organik luar negara, Sri Lovely Organik turut bekerjasama dengan MARDI, Kedah dan Jabatan Pertanian membangunkan lebih 40 variati benih padi termasuk MRQ74 dan padi Malingja organik.
Sebenarnya farm ni telah berada di mata dunia. Tujuan dia orang datang sini pertama untuk memahami apa itu organik, kaedah pembelajaran organik, dari mana konsep organik, dan dia orang boleh kita 100% bersifat sukarela.
Projek padi organik ini dipantau Jabatan Pertanian Daerah bagi memastikan ia mematuhi semua prosedur.
Dari segi penglibatan Jabatan Pertanian, kita banyak memantau dari segi persijilan organik, di mana kita memantau dari segi pelaksanaan aktiviti peladangan supaya mematuhi prosedur-prosedur mai organik.
Sukarelawan dan penyelidik di Sri Lovely ini datang dari pelbagai negara, manakala pekerjanya terdiri daripada 12 lepasan politeknik, Gyatmara dan IPT.
It's amazing. What I've seen so far is that the captain and the team here has found efficiencies at every point in the process, from seeding to weeding to harvesting. And so for me as a farmer and as a teacher, finding efficiencies is really what it's all about.
Bapa saya orang Melayu, so every day we makan nasi like at home, and so I got like a great respect towards nasi, and I really was interested how it's made and how you produce and how you crop it, because I'm really grateful, because nasi is for me like life.
500 kilogram atau 20 tan padi organik dihasilkan pada setiap musim. Sri Lovely menerima pelbagai anugerah dari dalam dan luar negara, termasuk Anugerah Inovasi Negara 2014 dan Anugerah Emas International New Exhibition dari Jerman. Rusia Abdul Hamid bersama juru kamera Muhammad Abdul Hadi Abdul Kadir untuk Berita RTM.
Beras organik kini
How many of you love to eat rice? Okay, you are still Malaysian and traditional, still Asian, yeah? Because some students, when I ask, oh, I love to eat burger, I love to eat potatoes, yeah? The Gen Z, yeah? So, today, all of you, most of you still love to eat rice, yeah? But there's difference between organic rice and chemical-based rice. Do you know what's the difference? Okay, let's learn together. For conventional inorganic is agrochemical treated seed used, genetically modified seed is allowed. Yeah? And then for SRI organic, it is organically grown seed, at least 8 generations. No genetically modified. Yeah? But after this, you don't ask canteen, is this organic or inorganic, yeah? You just eat whatever served for you, yeah? All right. Then the way the preparation of this organic and inorganic. For organic, they requires less water. That's why if you look into organic farms, they are so systematic, because less water is required for organic farming. Yeah? So the soil ploughed with tractors twisted to 10 to 15 centimeter depth. This is chemical-based farming. But for SRI, it's similar method with additional called distance tools for predetermined seedling distance. So it looks so systematic and so precise agriculture. Yeah? For conventional inorganic, depth of water in paddy field just 5 to 10 centimeter. It's require less water. Yeah? But for conventional, more water. But for SRI, organic farming technique, less water. Yeah? Which is initial depth around 2 to 4 centimeter, and then gradually dries out before harvesting. So you can see when you travel to some of advanced country in Japan, you will feel a little bit confused. Why their paddy fields look so dry? Yeah? So this is the reason, because organic require less water. Yeah? And for fertilizer, still use chemical base for non-organic and only organic fertilizer use. Usually they will use the waste from the farm. They use composting technique. They use mulching technique, yeah, for fertilizing, yeah, as well as pesticides, yeah. So for pest control, for chemical base, they use herbicides and pesticides. But when I interviewed the farm owner, usually when they use chemical base, they have some species, the local name called as siput gondang. Yeah? It's red color. The snail is big snail. Yeah? But when they use chemical base, this siput gondang become so resilient. Yeah? They kebal. Yeah? So what's happened is they have no idea how to solve the issues of these pesticides and insecticides. Yeah? But when they use organic base, they have issues, yeah, just like for some of insecticides issues, but less because it's organic base. Everything is just like natural. Yeah? And for conventional, yeah, inorganic, paddy harvested at 85% of maturity rate, but for SRI organic, 100% maturity. So now you can share with your parents, with your family members, the difference between organic versus inorganic rice. Yeah? You can even test if some of the sellers in the organic farm or organic market claim that they are really organic, then you know how to ask some questions just to double confirm, is it really organic or inorganic? Yeah? Okay, so this is ecotourism and edu-tourism. Most of visitors, most of tourists, they learned how to do handling and transplanting of the farming. Yeah, of this paddy. So they learned the technique, the right technique. So most of international tourists, international volunteers, international researchers, they come to this area, to the Sri Lovely, they learn and become volunteer from 6 months to 1 year or more than that. So they just stay at the Sri Lovely. They just eat whatever provided, but they don't have to pay farm labor salary. No salary. It's voluntarily based. Yeah? It's voluntarily basis. So for those who want to experience, learn something, you can just register as a volunteer, yeah, at this kind of eco and edu-tourism industry. Next. And they also learned theory as well as application for harvest and post-harvest technique. And they joined lots of international conferences, yeah? So if you go to some of grocery stores and you see brownie, organic, Sri Lovely, this is actually coming from organic farms, yeah? You can see how the knowledge exchange on edu-tourism is actually growing in Malaysia, yeah? Just like in Sekinchan, right? If I'm not mistaken, there's also farming, there's also paddy farms in that area. Yeah? So in conclusion, towards sustainable edu-tourism, yeah, is beyond traditional visits. You're not just visit this farm, you just not observe. No, it's beyond that. You learn about the ecosystem, you learn how to utilize those inputs using this technique on bioeconomy as well as industrial ecology. You learn about innovation in production, and you learn a lot for resilient future. Because if you know how to do this bioeconomy thing, you may survive regardless of what happened in terms of economic as well, yeah? And minimize waste, because we recycle, we use bio-based economy, yeah? And design regenerative environments. It's creative learning space where you hands-on, experience hands-on, yeah? And cultivate global citizens, because foster individuals who understand and value sustainable practices. So, perhaps during your break, you can be one of volunteer in this edu-tourism industry, just to experience problem-based learning as well as the real setting on the ground, yeah, in edu-tourism sector. With that, I end my keynote. Thank you so much. I open up for any Q&A. Do you have any question that you want? Yes? Yes, sure. Please introduce your name.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Fadrizal Mawajidi. I am from Team Sains Segamat. I just would like your opinion on how you would overcome the challenges of implementing organic farming. First of all, based on what I read, organic farming has low producibility, affecting production rates of Malaysian agriculture. Second, please let me remember. Organic farming also requires organic land, which I think Malaysia is quite lacking. So, in your opinion, do you have any solutions for that?
Thank you so much. Okay. This is very good questions, and this is really current issues to Malaysia, yeah? Most of second generation, they are not interested to be a farmer. If I ask you today, how many of you after graduate, you want to be a farmer? How many of you? No, right? Most of you, you have ambition, you want to be an engineer, doctor, professionals, and so on. Or at least entrepreneurs, right? So, first, regardless of chemical or organic farming, we have issues in terms of manpower. Number two, in organic farming, it requires physical demanding activities because you have to do all those waste from the farm recycle to be another value-added product. So, for instance, mulching technique, yeah? For elderly right now, it's really hard for them because it requires physical demanding activities. But if you just buy from the market, you just grab those chemical and inorganic based pesticides as well as fertilizers. But for organic, to maintain the ecosystem, is really, really physical demanding activities. The third one, the price of organic. This is the reason as well why it is so expensive. Because everything is manually and is a small scale. For Sri Lovely, yeah, one of the researchers who did on ecotourism as well as industrial ecology, they asked me to do some projections on how to maintain the rate of investment and rate of return of this organic farming. Yeah? Because it's really hard to produce large scale. Yeah? But Malaysian government encourage this kind of bio-based and organic-based production as well. Yeah? It's really hard to actually maintain those. For small scale, yes. For commercial, it's really hard for Malaysia. And awareness on the importance of organic, industrial ecology and bioeconomy is still low among Malaysians. Yeah? People usually just look at the price. If they want to buy something, is it cheap or is it expensive? Yeah? What's the next question? Sorry, I forgot. Yeah.
About the land.
The land, okay, yes. Since most of land in Malaysia are fully utilized for commercial, residential area as well as others, we still have land because in Malaysia we need to ensure we have around 70% land that can help us to balance the offset of the carbon, yeah, carbon offset, yeah, and to reduce the carbon emission, yeah. And as we know, chemical-based fertilizers will contribute to the carbon emission as well. So to have land which is fully organic is really hard as well in Malaysia because most of land already use chemical-based fertilizers and pesticides. I even interviewed some of farmers that they used to be an organic farmers, but because of physical demanding activities, and it's really hard for them to sustain their farms, they switch to chemical-based farming. Yeah? It is true, it's really hard to obtain those organic land, yeah, in Malaysia, but it is doable with the quintuple helix method, where we have a collaboration, yeah, between those pivotal actors, with the government, agencies, with academics, with communities as well. And in some of other countries, they encourage to have adopted land. You know, let's say in this village, they have some forest, yeah? So to avoid third party develop this land, convert it into another commercial areas or industries. So they let these villages to adopt this land. Then they conserve and preserve this land and it's become organic. Yeah? So this is another way that actually implemented in some of other developed countries.
Thank you. So
Thank
in
you.
conclusion, do you think that we should put more effort into our implementation of organic farming?
Yes, we need to actually for food security as well. If we relying on chemical-based inputs, just like what happened, yeah, to Ukraine and Russia, and that's really leads to expensive and price spike in terms of inputs. When farmers want to breed their chicken, they need that pellet, to feed chicken. When that's why some of eggs, some of meat, yeah, there's inflation on that because we're relying on the inputs from countries outside, yeah, from the outside countries. Ukraine and Russia war really give impact to the inputs to the farms. So that's why from farms, we also requires eggs, meat, chicken meat and so on. And they also a producer for wheat. So that's why roti canai price increase, yeah? Because we need those inputs. We imported those inputs from overseas. But with industrial ecology and bioeconomy, we are self-sustenance. So in terms of food security, we will be better. If everyone thinking of ecosystem, of industrial ecology, of bio-based economy, yeah? So we need this kind of knowledge and expertise so that we can develop well in organic farming as well as organic industry in Malaysia. Because now, although it's organic products, but 60% actually we import from other countries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, first of all, thank you for the insightful presentation. I'm Abiaris from Academic Science Pendang, and I would like to ask about ecotourism specifically. Because the way I see it, for ecotourist enterprises, they couldn't really be large scale or like commercialized because when you become this average Instagrammable attraction, you attract a large number of people, and of course there's some level of environmental damage that would be included. But then, on the other hand, for these ecotourist enterprises to be even competitive, they need to be able to maximize profit. They need to be able to do economies at scale. So how do ecotourist enterprise in status quo Malaysia balance the two of that? That is, staying fiscally profitable in the long run and also preserving their environmentally sustainable identity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, this is really wonderful question. Okay, first is about ecotourism concept, right? This is really interesting. You know what's happened during the pandemic? Most of tourism industries shut down, including the ecotourism industries, yeah? So, in environmental economics, usually we will use something called as contingent valuation method. For an industry to open up, we will need to do some evaluation so-called as cost-benefit analysis, yeah? Before the project runs, during and after, yeah? So to make them sustain and sustainable, they need lots of support system as well, yeah? Number one, first, they really need this kind of support system in terms of marketing and promotion. Just like example, the case study on Sri Lovely and Fitra Farm. Sri Lovely managed to their business when they have volunteers. So they may reduce their operational costs when they only hire volunteers to run the farms. So they have volunteers from international tourists, researchers, and so on. They just need to provide a place to stay and they just provide food. That's it. No farm salary, no farm labor salary. So they manage to reduce their operational cost. Number two, they really need good support from the system, which is including the government agencies. Otherwise, it's really hard for them to survive. Yeah? So when they marketing, they do a lot of marketing. They do a lot to overseas, because in other countries they really value, yeah, organic-based food production, and they also collaborate with collaborators who are also the pivotal actors in organic farming. In ecotourism industry, this is also another way for them to sustain. I give you example during the COVID-19. Yeah, most of edutourism and tourism sectors, they have laid off workers. They have no visitors because of lockdown, and the government really helped them, yeah, to bounce back after post-pandemic. But then they managed to at least sustain after 6 months of the lockdown. Why this happens? Because some of them, they have communities in that area who work in their ecotourism. Yeah? So this is why they manage to sustain, because actually they have community who actually, yeah, helping them to manage these ecotourism sectors. Then during the lockdown, the workers are still there. Yeah? So actually they also develop, this social enterprise also develop the local communities. Yeah? Then they also have collaboration with other international counterparts. For instance, they use virtual tour. Yeah? So although you are in Europe, you are in US, you can actually still attract those tourists because they have virtual tour. Yeah? So this is actually another way for some of ecotourism sectors manage to sustain post-pandemic, because they use virtual technique. Although those tourists are not in Malaysia, but they manage to experience, yeah, if they travel physically to Malaysia and how the surroundings in that area. Yeah? And then of course, no money, no talk. So it's really important to have personal branding and marketing. That's why you can see most of those entrepreneurs, they become a content creator. Soft selling technique, soft marketing. They won't promote you. Please come to my chalet, please this and that. But no, they use lots of content creator just for soft selling technique. You know, healing by the beach, and then there's some storyline, and then viral. People started to go to this kind of ecotourism areas. Yeah? And of course, with quintuple helix model, where we have lots of support and collaboration between academia, education, policymakers, as well as industrial players and local communities, this actually will help to sustain this ecotourism industry. Yeah?
All right, just one more follow-up question to be clear.
Okay.
So would it be correct to characterize ecotourism as not being a merely for-profit sector, but it also involves quite a mixed approach of both for-profit and non-profit operations?
Yes, usually for social enterprise to be sustained is not profit making and profit centric. That's why we have edutourism, you know. If Fitra Farm and Sri Lovely, for instance, just looking at personal branding as People just come as a tourist per se, it's hard for them to sustain. So they come out with those programs like edu-tourism. When international schools come to these, they learn. They come with packs, you know. One packs, how much, you know. So this is another way. They need to diversify their services, not only providing this ecotourism, yeah, attract tourists, but also edu tourism. They give training. This is another way for them to sustain their business. Yeah, not profit-centric and profit-making per se. It has to be marginal effect to the local communities as well, where they provide a lot of benefits, yeah, and they also attract more because government will look into their contribution as well. If it's just profit-making per se, then it's really hard for government agencies to help and maintain these ecotourism sectors. Yeah? So it needs really holistic and, I would say, holistic approach. Yeah? Where you give back to the societies and communities in that area or that states or region, then you may somehow attract those local agencies to help. And this is what's happened to Fitra Farm and Sri Lovely, where you can hear in that video, yeah, in that documentary video, how government agencies collaborate with them to make them sustain in ecotourism and edu-tourism. Thank you.
Right, that's clear enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So, do we have any more questions from the participants? Okay. I'm so sorry. Miss Shai said it's time's up because you guys need to go for excursion and experience edu ecotourism after this. You really implement this keynote, yeah? So I wish you guys all the best. I really hope with humble experience and some sharing session today, this open up you. If you go for healing, if you go for traveling, it's not merely conventional traveling, but you will learn something from there and you adopt and adapt ecotourism and edu-tourism concept. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Siti Rahaila binti Rahmat, for your enlightening perspectives and insightful knowledge.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a token of our deepest gratitude for her willingness to grace the 13 fully residential schools keynote address, we would like to present a small memento to Honorable Dr. Siti Rahaila binti Rahmat, Deputy Director, International Mobility and Collaboration Centre, University Sains Malaysia. Please welcome Puan Hajah Faizatul Akmanur binti Nurbi and Dr. Siti Rahaila binti Rahmat. A heartfelt thank you from all of us at Kuala Selangor Science School.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we conclude the opening ceremony and the keynote address. Thank you to our guest of honor, keynote speaker, master trainers, speakers, organizers, and attendees for making this event a success.
Have a wonderful day.
Have a delightful symposium.
Have a pleasant stay here in Kusas. Thank you. Attention to all participants, please stay back at the Prima Hall for the excursion briefing. Thank you.
Now, let us invite Nur Batrisha binti Muhammad Shahril to continue her agenda.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning I bid to all teachers and fellow friends. Hi, I'm Batrisha and I'm the leader of the excursion team. So, I'm here today to give a few reminders regarding excursion. So first, every school will take the same bus as yesterday. But for those who didn't come by bus, you are required to take bus that were provided by the committee members. You can check it on the notice board in front of our dining hall. Second, please do not bring any food and please take care of your personal item. There are a lot of masks